send one of those to you guys. What a week it has been. What a week it has been indeed. We've had a lot of fun. We have accepted yes into our lives. Just say yes, Andy.
No.
Peaches and Cheeseburger.
Cheeseburger for life.
The best cop duo on TV. Peaches and Cheeseburger. What a fun time it has been. And it carries on next week because we've got the South Park DLC and Silent Hill. Good God almighty. Creamy good. Creamy good. And we also finished our little, and I'm not allowed to call it the newbie project because that's not real. It's not what it's really like. You're not a new player. I know. I don't think there's anybody here who doesn't know that. I think we're all clear. Is everybody clear? Everybody clear on that? But we did manage to finish off our wonderful little project of what it's really like in the pug world. What is it really like? What's going on there? So we know without guessing. 0.08 item levels per hour. 0.08. That's not a good statistic, fellas. That's not a good number. It's not a good number to hit. It's really not. That's not a good number to hit. That's pretty startling, actually. That's a bad place to be. That is a really bad place to be. It's a terrible place to be. But we figured it out. We worked it out. We did some statistics. We managed to get that ahead of the curve in just under 2 resets. Feeling goddamn good, man. Feeling goddamn good. It was such a relief to hit that goal. I can finally sleep this weekend. I'm so tired right now. We actually did stretches. I did stretches before starting drama time because I was exhausted. But we got this. And we have a web show tomorrow. A web show tomorrow. Which is going to be catching up on all that BFA stuff. Because we did go down into the latest BFA update. Which was Storm Song Valley. Storm Song Valley. Storm Song Valley. Which is going to be good. Gonna be good. It's the best Alliance Zone so far. Thumbs up! Right? No? Thumbs up! But that's not why you're here right now. That is not why you're here right now. What we have right now is the best RP I can muster from this week's entries. The best RP no, it's not as nice as Zandalar. It is not as nice as Zandalar. It really isn't. But it's not bad. It's all right. It's all right. I enjoyed it for the most part. I enjoyed the Alliance Zone. That was pretty goddamn good. We got the best RP we have to offer. Are you ready for the thrills and spills?
What, are you doing a car show?
There are thrills and spills in this story, Andy. We are going on a ride. We are going on a wonderful ride that I think most of us... What? I told you I'm tired, man. We've not slept in a few days. It's good. There we go. Had to sit for... Isn't it ridiculous? I'm exhausted because I had to sit not doing anything in pugs. How ridiculous is that? That's the ridiculous nature of it. I had to sit not doing anything in fucking pugs and I'm knackered. I'm absolutely knackered from doing it. So bad. So bad. Okay. Are you ready? Mustard. What for types? I've typed something ridiculous, haven't I? Dodgy guild muster. Yeah, master. It's because you got me in the mind with the thingy. Okay. Are you ready? Holla Ballers, that's you. Preacheroo, and the ghost in the corner.
Word.
Can you be more like Boo from Mario? Try it.
You do that again. Screenshot it! Don't put a dick in your mouth! Done!
That's old. I've got a story for you today of an RP guild which seemed innocent. An innocent RP guild. But upon closer inspection held some dark secrets. I'd like to add that due to this being a relatively old story, I might have not got everything perfectly correct. So tell your chat to bite me. You can begin your fake spam now for some mild inconsistency. Please, go ahead. But bite you. And also, +1 for bringing back Bite Me. I don't think we've heard Bite Me in a very long time, since Bill and Ted's days, maybe. The year is Wrath of the Lich King. I'm still relatively fresh to the wondrous world of roleplay. Having only recently learned that there is more to roleplay than dancing on tables with gnomes, all in saucy outfits in Goldshire. Indeed, I had made the journey to Stormwind, fabled hub of Alliance roleplay, a great pearly white city filled with RP from all wondrous walks of life. Some people became merchants. Some people became pirates. Others became homeless people. Who's role-playing as a homeless person and why are you doing that? why would you go? You know what my dream is? I could be anything I want in the whole world. I've got to be a homeless person. I've got to be a homeless person. It's going to be awesome. I'm just going to beg on the streets of Star. In fact, if that's true, there's RP on every server.
You could be a pikey.
See, maybe if we got a little camp, one of them little wagons that's out of town somewhere.
Can you do a pikey accent?
Dags. That's about as far as I go.
Bravo.
Me ma got that. Naturally, I decided to look for a guild to join in order to broaden my roleplay horizons. I was playing a human priestess at the time, dressed up in full tier 5. So I decided to go with that theme. I would try and find a holy guild, enacting the light's will and the judgments and all that bollocks. It just so, wouldn't you believe that cliche situation was quite easy to find? Wouldn't you believe it just so happened that, stood around the cathedral like a bunch of statues, there was one of these guilds. They were recruiting. Excellent. They were all stood in a line, all dressed in white and stood in formation. Clearly it was a well-organized guild. Only the officers wore cloaks. And I remember distinctly thinking to myself that maybe I too one day could wear a cloak. Imagine. Just imagine. What an honor that would be. I signed up. I did the online application and got through to having a in-character interview. Yes. To which, though, apparently, for those of us outside of the roleplay world, is a no-no. In brackets, it says, which strikes me as odd because you do not, are you listening? Pay attention. You do not mix in-character and out-of-character, space, shake my head. This is wrong, this. It's all wrong. I'll tolerate it for now, but what is this? Disgusting. I got through it with flying colours, stating my character's desire to help cleanse the land of the remnants of the scourge and protect those who threaten our most noble of cities. I accept the guild invite and was told my first duty was to go and farm the transmog. Welcome aboard. I was actually a bit upset about this. I went from my beautiful, glorious tier 5 to the gossamer robes. What would your transmog suit be in an RP guild? Don't answer now. That's a big question. It's your guild. It's your guild. You can do... Whoa, I would not like to put ghost transmog in a corner. Just saying.
The mercs looking mint and I'd have a suit and a fucking pimp cane. What? You'd be a jester.
Oh. A few days passed and the first event began. It was to be a mere meeting that introduced new recruits. It was a good opportunity to get to know people, and I began mingling with the guild then, fitting in quickly and finding people with shared interests. It was wonderful. So good. However, at the end of the meeting, something exciting did get announced. Hold on to your jizz. Within the next week, that's 7 days, y'all, a campaign would begin. The entire guild, wait for it, the entire guild was to travel up north to the Plaguelands to help cleanse them. This is pre-Cataclysm Plaguelands. This was going to be epic. In fact, the first week alone was just traveling to the Plaguelands. It involved, hold back, campfire RP, stopping in towns such as Thelsamar and Karanos, enjoying dwarven hospitalities, even swimming in Loch Modan. 7 days, motherfuckers, of all that. But I know what you're thinking. Is that it, Mike? And the answer is no. Of course, this journey was not without its action. A trog ambush. A wagon breaking. And needing to be fixed. A fire in the campsite itself. It was pretty thrilling stuff. It says that in the story. It was pretty thrilling stuff. Yeah, it was pretty thrilling. I mean, we're talking non-stop. We're talking dwarven, we're swimming, there's a fire. I mean, it's all going on. I began to bond quite well with one of the officers in the guild, a fellow priestess who went by the name of Cortini. Cortini. Of Cortini. Oh, God. My balls are empty after even listening to this. Many a night was spent with the characters discussing their past, their hobbies, what they hoped to do when we finally reached the Plaguelands and give aid to the people there. However, almost each night, the officer would end up leaving and going off with the guildmaster to remote places, in whichever zone we were in, such as one of the islands in the loch, or the Wendigo cave in Dunmoreau. What I didn't realise is that the officer and the GM were a couple, both in-game and out of game. That's IRL, everybody. Yeah? It was probably for the best I didn't know at this time, else I might have mentioned another observation that I had made, that the GM would sneak off with more than just Cortini. No, he'd sneak off with other members, mostly female, but 1 or 2 males thrown into the mix as well. How peculiar, I thought. Naturally, I assumed this was for private guild meetings, one-to-ones with each other's character and the leader of this expedition. Of course, that all changed when the GM and another member approached me one night, asking me to follow them. We were in the wetlands at the time, but for our guild meeting, we journeyed all the way across to the Thandal Span and into the Arathi Highlands. When we finally got where the GM was taking us, he demanded that my character removed her clothes. Oh no. I initially refused, but he said if I didn't do it, he would kick me from the guild. It was getting very awkward. I had only one solution to this. I pretended to disconnect. And no. Huzzah! Fixed! Fixed it. Totally fixed. I logged on the next day and all seemed normal. I went about the normal RP, though didn't speak to the GM. Instead, I chose to RP with Cortini, as I usually did. However, during our RP, I got a rather peculiar whisper from that GM. The whisper read as follows. If you carry on what we were doing last night, I will send you Cortini's nudes. I said no. I didn't want Cortini's nudes. But he kept pestering me. Eventually, I mentioned this to Cortini. Oh dear. She went silent for about 10 minutes and didn't reply to me. And while we were sat around the campfire chit-chatting, the guild disbanded. I got angry messages from the GM who called me a snitch. A dirty snitch. I ended up having to ignore him. It turned out the GM had been collecting nudes from multiple members of the guild, both men and women, telling them he would give them extra GM rewards, like officer positions, or perhaps a spot in a raid if we start raiding. Look, hey, send me a dick pic, and if we ever start raiding, which we don't, you're in. Yeah, I don't need to ask you.
It's happening anyway.
Boop.
Do you want it on a particular side?
A1 if you've got it. If you could blow it up onto a poster, that'd be fantastic. How people did this, I don't know. Perhaps they just wanted to send pictures. I can only imagine that he was a charismatic man, though my experience with him suggested otherwise. A few days later, Cortini whispered me, "Thank you. Thank you for telling me about what he was doing." And she had decided on the ultimate solution. Let's start a new guild, just without him. Which we did, though due to university and other real-life obligations, I didn't really have time to keep it up. The guild ended up disbanding again. I don't play much more anymore due to a lack of time. Never mind, perhaps I'll get back into RPing properly one day. And I hope you enjoyed my little story. It's only a short one, but I'm glad to say I did not fall for the nudie opener. Anybody else sent nudes for raid spots for guilds that don't raid? Anybody else done that? No? No? Good. 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 I did ask. Yes. Okay, everybody's done that. All right, good. Good to know. Good to know every single one of you apparently has done that. No, all right. Damn done hasn't done it. What a guy. Negative. Okay, so some of you haven't, but a few of you have fallen for this apparent ploy. Right, I need a blood elf mage. Ukala. A Tauren Pally. Oh, I don't even know how to say that. Can anybody... What?
Now, Glyn just said that's how he got his spot in Diamond Dog sending news, but what Glyn doesn't know is because he's blind, the camera was facing the other way, so I just got a nice shot of his PC.
We need 2 guild names, boys and girls. 2 guild names to go along with this.
Send nudes.
It's kind of cliche, the old send nudes.
Alright. Show us your tits. Biss tits.
Biss tits.
Soapy boob job.
I like soapy boobs. We'll go with that.
Yep.
Soapy boobs are always a happy day. The cheeseburgers.
Oh, never forget.
The cheeseburgers. Hello, preacher, and that there ghosty.
Word.
My story is one of me being a noob. Our favourite kind of story. Being a noob. Could never go back. I remember stacking agility on my warrior. Gave crit. I thought it was really smart.
A lot of people did that, mate.
Yeah.
Idiots, but a lot of people.
I have race changed and name changed my carrot priest several times, so you can use the names. Nah, it's fine. We'll make up a name. Don't worry. All right. Let me work on it. Mate. Excuse me. All right, I've got it. My story begins in 2011 when a 15-year-old me at this point in time only ever played Team Fortress 2, mate, and Minecraft competitive hardcore with my IRL friends and girlfriends and some random Yorkshire boys. However, one day while watching some video on the YouTube, an advert had somehow managed to get through my ad blocker. But this wasn't an online advert. This was a badass advert. It contained a giant fuck-off dragon fucking the shit out of all the different zones. Downloaded World of Warcraft during the Dragon Soul concept patch. I mentioned this to my friends that I was going to play WoW, but they instantly responded with various comments along the lines of, and remember, this is Minecraft, players. What are you, some kind of fucking nerd? LOL. WoW is for no-lifers and virgins. Gonna go and get some diamonds though, mate. Got any redstone? You fucking virgin. Subscription games are fucking robbery made by scum. Oh, good one. You gotta play WoW. Didn't know you were secretly gay for elves, mate. Wow, nice fucking Super Mario skin on your square character, though. Gay for elves. Hey, you virgin. Where's my redstone? Now?
Why are you picking on me?
I just like the idea of all these Minecraft guys calling someone a twat for playing WoW. After sitting through these responses for around 5 minutes, I decided just to go and play WoW in secret, just to give it a try. After all, just in secret. After all, I wasn't paying for it yet. What was the harm? After leaving my laptop on overnight to download and my 1.2 megabits download speed, I went to bed. The next day, I awoke to my newly downloaded game and was ready to make my first character. I decided to make an alliance human hunter because I liked the idea of pets. And 15-year-old me thought guns were, in fact, BIS. I logged in surrounded by 20 different other level 1s. I was quite impressed by how many people played this game. Oh my god, there must be at least 20 people here. Amazing. But all these people did make my laptop lag quite a bit. Upon running down the road to Goldshire, I ran into a playing, whispering passersby. Oh, a whispering passerby to join his guild. We ended up talking about it, and he filled me with hope of raids and the idea of rated battlegrounds for around 10 minutes, convincing me that his guild was going to be one of the best. I wanted him to join a crew of people who would PvP and kill the biggest monsters in the game. After this, he turned to me and said that I wouldn't be able to join his guild. It's made me incredibly angry. I sent him a paragraph of abuse about how I didn't even want to join your guild, mate, and it was probably full of cunts and bellends anyway. He then responded by telling me I couldn't physically join his guild as I had a trial account, and then blocked me for sending such abusive messages. After playing for about 2.5 hours questing in Elwyn Forest, I had managed to reach Hogger, and after several attempts at killing him, I gave up. Now, can I ask a question here? I always thought this was just a meme because he's like one of the first elites, but have people actually died to Hogger? Is that like a thing and I'm not getting the meme? Because I feel really dumb that it has been this long and potentially Hogger is actually a hard thing for people. The people, is that like, is it because it's like, I don't know. Yeah, not level 1s. No, not level, fuck off. I can't see you guys. Fucking wasted time. Andy,
What?
they're a waste of time. They're all taking the piss.
Did you say I'm a waste of time?
Not you, mate.
Fuck you.
Redstone.
That karma's coming back around, mate.
Hey,
You wait for
virgins for life, mate. Me and you, mate.
Me and you.
After several attempts at killing him, I gave in and logged out, thinking WoW was a well shit game. And that Hunter was underpowered. And was super boring. I logged out and uninstalled it and went back to playing Minecraft, mate. Yeah, I tried that WoW out. Hunter's boring. Don't even do nothing. Can't do no damage. Well shit game. Fucking broken. Disable it. You know what it is? Combat was too fast on my level 10. Put it on the globals. Yeah? Almost a year later, though, after breaking up with my girlfriend and I transitioned to a Zoostorm PC with a 440 graphics card. What is that? Zoostorm PC. Oh, what a picture. It looks like the most basic PC I've ever seen in my life. I'm not taking the piss. It just looks super basic then. I'm surprised that you would have mentioned it was a Zoostorm. Pretty swaggy. Hey, this one's got colours on it. Look at that. Yeah. Zoo Storm. It's a Zoo Storm, mate. And I'll thank you to stop taking the piss.
Family PC.
Just the basic PC, innit? Just the old bog standard. I'm selling out. I'm sponsored by Zoo Storm. My selling marketing technique, guys, if you can't tell, is to say it looks really bog standard basic. Buy now. Buy now. Anyway, we're playing Minecraft, but we've got a Zoo Storm, so it's good. I decided I'd give WoW another shot, mainly due to the fact as I've been on holiday for summer and starting after college. Being 15, I thought I'd have nothing better to do, so I decided I was going to save my money overall. Instead of buying Steam games on every sale, my paper round, which is where you deliver papers to people's houses, would cover the sub costs, meaning I would be free to play as much as I wanted, as well as making mad financial gains of £6 a week. So the following weekend, I went to the local game, picked up the battle chest and kata. Upon getting home, I decided I should make a new account using a different email, just in case the people somehow found out that I had played WoW before. And it might not be good. This was it. I was finally ready to play. This time I would join a guild, be able to raid and PvP. This time I decided I would make a Blood Elf Paladin. Upon reaching level 10, I went for the Ret Spec. I carried on questing to 18 after many corpse runs in the Dread Scar in the Ghostlands. I decided I would try the Dungeon Finder. When I clicked the button, it asked me to select a role. So I picked the tank role. As in my mind, questing had given me a one-handed sword and shield. It had a picture of a shield. My queue popped up. It was the Dead Mines. Upon zoning in, I started running, attacking everything in sight. The group managed to down the first two bosses alright. However, that fucking faux reaper teared my ass up. The group managed to kill it without me. At which point, one of the DPS must have inspected me. See, what I always tell you? At some point, someone's going to go, hang on a minute. Hold on. What's going on over here, though? He called me a noob! And I was removed from the group. I proceeded to do this for several dungeons while questing in zones. For each time I was kicked thinking nothing of it and that this was just a toxic game. It's not me. It's everybody else. You're all toxic fucks. Right? That's what it is. You're all toxic fucks. That's what's going on. It's not me. It's all you guys, you toxic bastards. Upon reaching around the stockade level, the group died several times on the initial corridor pull, and I was quickly kicked. However, and as I said in the recent project, it only takes one. Ukayla, in the group, asked me an important question. Is this your first ever character? I guess. Can you just, is this your first ever character? I said yes. And he told me that if I was to make a new character in his realm, he would help me. He would be the guide. He would help me learn this game. I was unsure about this at first, but assured me that he would power level me if I made a class that his guild might need in the future. So I did. I made an orc warrior with the thought of playing Fury after being told that I could use two-handed weapons, which was fucking insane to me at the time. So I quested to level 10 when he whispered me telling me that I should meet him in the Cleft of Shadows while he went to make a cup of tea. After 10 minutes of running around Orgrimmar on foot, I messaged him that I was lost and that all I could see were catapults and goblins. He invited me to a group containing him and another guildmate, where they summoned me to outside of Ragefire Chasm. This is it, boys. We're going in. Fucking Ragefire Chasm. While being boosted through Ragefire for an hour, Ukayla and his guildmate were talking about how he was trying to do this again, and that it didn't work the past 3 times, and he didn't think it would work again. And Ukayla was telling his friend it's fine, and he was sure it was going to be much better this time. The guild member told him that they would be much better recruiting max level geared players, but told Ukela that he could try if he wanted, but it was his own time he was wasting, and left. They've done this before. This is like a cult thing. Me and Ukela continued to run dungeons over the few days. Whenever he was online, he would fly me around Kalimdor to each new dungeon to get better experience. It was going fine and we were talking about random things. However, so slowly, Ukela was getting weirder and weirder. What was just normal talk, where we're from, esports, TV series, quickly became personal. Questions about me, how he was alone and that he still lived with his parents and he was unemployed. I managed to deflect most of these questions until he decided that he wanted a picture of me. He knew that I was a guy, but I hadn't told him my or any other major geographical information other than the north of England. Around level 35, I decided that it was getting really weird. So I blocked Ukela, logged off and deleted this warrior. I had to stop playing for a few days in case he came to find me. I decided I didn't want to get boosted. I would level on my own from now on and stay away from the creepers in WoW. Smart. Real smart. I told my friend, Ruger, who was somewhat interested in playing WoW, when I initially mentioned it a year ago, about this creepy experience. And we both got a giggle about it. We decided that we would do the recruiter friend for the sick 2-seater rocket. With me being the recruiter, I would buy him a battle chest so that he could try the game. And in return, he would buy sub time. He continued playing after the month was over. The next day, his WoW was installed. And he picked the server. Hellscream EU. I had only recently decided I wanted to play a Goblin Shadow Priest. Ruger made a Tauren Paladin. Friend's a retard. Run away. How many of you play Tauren Paladins that aren't tanks? It's okay if you're a tank. It's okay if you're a tank. It's fine. It's fine. It's okay if you're a tank. But if you're playing a fucking holy Tauren Paladin or a ret Tauren Paladin, you do you, yeah? You do you. However, we soon realized we wouldn't be able to level together. So, they can't meet each other. Oh, they don't know how to meet each other in the world. So I made a Tauren Druid to get him to level 15 so we could both quest and dungeon together. While I leveled my male Goblin Priest when Ruger was still at school due to being slightly younger than me. Around level 55, we both got a whisper from a troll rogue named Townsend, saying he had created a brand new guild and he was looking to get a roster together to raid the Dragon's Soul and do rated PvP. Wow, how lucky! There's a brand new guild that's going to give us everything we could possibly want. How lucky that this came in. Ah, did I spell it wrong? Swanson. Yeah, it is Townsend. I know it is. I know it is. I can spell. It's you guys who can't spell. Yeah, raiding and PvP. And it's a brand new guild, so we'll be up there with the classics. This is awesome. We both responded that we were happy to join if they'd have us. And we both quickly received an invite to the Soapy Boobs. The original guild name was some Latin law term. Oh, God. Oh, no, it's one of them Latin guild names. Deus Voxus Machina, mate. Mate, want to join my new guild? Deus Voxus Machina Est. Debule.
So you got Roman numerals at the end.
And dashes. You virgin.
Fuck you. You're ladding in a minute. Tossing shade at me.
Soapy boobs. Soapus titus. We're changing it to Soapus titus. I like that. Soapus titus. Okay. We both joined to find it was full of around 25 online players of the potential 450 that were members. It had several level 85 players in it, and they said they were running heroic level dungeons. Incredible. Incredible. As me and Ruger quickly leveled, we made friends with several players, while having banter and welcoming each new member to the guild. At the time, of course, as you could probably guess, we did not realise that we were in the Cesspool Guild. A few days in Sopus Titus, the GM Townsend had put a raid on the calendar. The guild was going to tackle Magtheridon's lair, Karazhan, and the Black Temple. The event, everyone would be welcome, as it was for transmog and guild achievements, so we only needed 8 people to do it. Me and Ruger were quite excited at the fact that we would be able to see a raid before reaching max level, so we tried our best to rush through Outland dungeons with the hope of getting into our first ever raid. The night came. I was leveling as holy, so I was told I'd be healing the group for those at current level slightly higher for the raid. This didn't go very well for the 5 of us, who didn't have any gear, while the level 85s smashed the bosses. I decided I didn't like healing at this point. However, we ended up making a 5-man group for Wrath of the Lich King dungeons, with Ruger and Townsend, and 2 of his officer friends that were leveling alts, where I was healing without the stress of attempting to heal players with 6 times the HP of myself. However, upon reaching level 80, we realised one vital thing. And that was that Ruger didn't have the Kata expansion, meaning he couldn't continue leveling with me, and wouldn't be able to purchase Kata for a week due to his pocket money. I was told to carry on without him. Aww, that's not nice. Mid-leveling, Townsend decided that he wanted to get the Bronze Drake from the Wrath dungeon, and asked me and Ruger to come along and help him, as his friends claimed that they couldn't be asked, as it was a shit Drake. We both agreed. However, we never decided on the way who would be getting the mount from the run. We cleared it fairly quickly and rolled the mount. Townsend won the roll and claimed that he was busy now and that we would definitely come back later to do it again. Followed by a friend request on the battle swag. Maybe he's not lying. Maybe he's not lying. Around a week later, I was 85, and seeing as the recruitment side of the guild was going very slow, I decided to enter max level random battlegrounds. That's right, he queued for them, boys. I got absolutely dumpstered as a Shadow Priest for a few days, due to undergear and not having a clue as to how to play Shadow, due to healing for most of my leveling. But one night, oh yeah, Townsend saw that I had some PvP achievements and messaged me if I had ever thought about doing 2s. He told me all about 2s, how we could get the conquest cap due to the gear being far superior to honor gear, due to having more stats and resilience. He told me with him as a sub-rogue and me as a healer, we would be unstoppable, even title-worthy, as he told me that Rogue Priest was incredibly high on the ladders. Crazy OP! So we grouped up, where he responded, "Are you going to PvP as holy? You should be Dis. The top priest players are all Dis. It's a superior spec, I think, in PvP." I told him I'd never played Dis before. I've Shadow as my off-spec. He accepted this, and we queued up for what would be probably some of the most embarrassing experiences of my WoW life. I would get killed in 3 seconds flat, get CC to shit while the rogue got murdered. Townsend recommended that we should use Skype. It would be better as we'd be able to communicate faster, more, meaning I could use cooldowns better. I barely understood anything he was saying, but decided due to the creepiness of Ukela, I didn't want to get too close and personal and engage in voice comms. After a night of failing to get enough wins to reach cap, most being him managing to eventually kill somebody before they killed me, or just through some luck I'd managed to click on a cooldown before I died, we decided we would do a few random BGs before deciding to call it for the night. At this point, I went to Skype to tell Ruger about how the night had went. Ruger laughed about it, and we talked for a bit before he went to bed. I decided I needed to work on my healing. So I queued up some random heroics, and I managed to get 350 item level. We're on our way. We're at it again. After waiting a minute or so, the queue popped. I clicked accept, ready to heal. Oh, this is the dungeon. As we zoned into the Well of Eternity, the tank instantly ran to pull the first mob of the instance. Instantly, everybody's health bar started to go down. It was going down faster than I could handle, clicking my spells as quickly as possible. Looking back now, I know that there was a debuff to dispel, and I didn't use any cooldown to handle this at all. We wiped twice on the first trash of the Well of Eternity. They called me a noob healer. And for many, many times now, I was kicked again from the dungeon. I queued a few more times with many runs going just as bad though. I decided I would call it a night. Perhaps I'm just not good enough at being a healer. Perhaps healing is too hard. I think maybe I need to give it up. Ruger eventually returned to play after getting the expansion and slowly made way through Mount Hyjal and into Deepholm before realizing how bad it was going to be for him without flying to travel around quickly. And due to the fact that we leveled so quickly with Recruit a Friend, neither him or me had enough gold to buy him flying either. So he decided not to play WoW for a while and farm some, or not to give leveling a break for a while and farm some of the older expansion raids. This annoyed me. I wanted someone else to play with other than Townsend. Over the next week, me and Townsend pushed twos. After a constant barrage of being told I should switch to Dis, I eventually caved. He told me to go and look on noxic.com and copy the PvP build so I could get the correct talents. It took me about 20 minutes of looking at all these new icons and spells. I tried to put them in order of importance on my bars. And throughout all of this, Townsend was talking on his own in party chat with just me, although I wasn't responding. Gonna get rank 1, us, mate. We are easy rank 1. We're gonna be fucking unstoppable. We're gonna get a title rating so fast, mate. And various variations of these comments. I doubted that it was going to be that easy. I didn't think that this change would make all that difference either. After all, I generally was a crap healer in the first place. After a while, I felt I could use these spells and decided to queue. And it was at this point, as we entered the ruins of Lordaeron, that Townsend told me that he had come up with a plan. An unbreakable plan that would guarantee our newfound PvP success, our titles, and our rating. His plan was for me to jump on one of the candles and sit on it in the starting room ledge so that the enemy team would not be able to get to me as easily. While I was doing this, he would go and CC one of the enemy team members using SAP. If anything should go wrong, he would type something in chat, and that meant I should get off the candle. Perfection. Absolute perfection. The match begins. We're against a lock hunter. Townsend landed a sap onto the warlock, but he gets flared from stealth into a monkey stun from the hunter pet. Popped his freedom trinket and proceeded to go hardcore on that hunter. The hunter, though, pressed deterrence. The sap ended on the lock, who proceeded to fear him, resulting in him spamming chat while being feared across the room that I had forgotten to fear ward and that I needed to go and dispel. I jumped down from my candle, ran over to the central tomb, by which point he had been spam feared to a 2-second duration, which is what I actually dispelled. As soon as this happened, the hunter frost trapped him. I remember it now, as the lock and the hunter turned towards me, and all the cooldowns unleashed. I made an attempt to mass dispel, but I was instantly interrupted. Not knowing what to do, I did the only thing that my mind told me to do. I backpedaled slowly back towards the starting area as my character fell to the floor. Townsend was furious. How could we lose so quickly when we are playing such an OP comp in twos versus a bunch of noobs, mate, with no rating? Not even good, though. I sat silent reading the messages he spammed into the party chat. 15-year-old me did the only thing I could think of and fake disconnected for the night and went to bed. I didn't log in for 2 days, to which I did receive an in-game mail apology from Townsend, saying he was sorry for getting mad and that he was just angry as the game has way too much CC and he would really, really like to start using comms to play in the future. I was getting tired of losing too and decided it'd be worth a shot. But I needed one condition. One condition I'll join comms. Ruger has to be in the call as well to make sure that I'm safe. 15? Later that evening, me and Ruger were sat in a call waiting for Townsend to ask me to do arena. Townsend logged on, invited me to a group, and put his Skype in the party chat, to which I quickly added him. Took a deep breath and invited him to our call. He joined, and we both said hey, to which we were greeted by a squawky, "Hey up, lads! Which one of you boys is my priest friend then?" I responded with a "that'd be me." He followed with, "Right, this is gonna be great. We're gonna get 1,500 in twos by the end of the night. Easy win, boys. Easy win." Townsend liked to play music for us through his speakers. He said it helped him concentrate while PvP. We would have been fine with this if it wasn't the same playlist of around 7 songs that he really enjoyed at that moment. It consisted of Pink, Katy Perry, and Kesha. There's only so much a man can take for around 3 hours. But 3 hours later, we were barely over 700 rating after around 30 games. Ruger was messaging me throughout, laughing at how he could hear the rage being held back in Townsend's voice, and asking me why am I even playing with this guy? He sounds like a right cunt. Me and Ruger eventually got sick and tired of this squawky, annoying voice and decided we'd pretend we were going to go off and we were actually going to play some TF2 instead. Townsend thanked me for the games and reminded me before we logged off, "Same tomorrow, boys. No problems. Easy win, boys. In twos." I decided Townsend wasn't as much of a problem as Ukela was, and it'd be okay for me to chat solo to him when PvPing. He wasn't a creep or anything. So over the next week, me and Townsend attempted to train me out of my newbie ways, to stop me backpedaling and teach me what Duke meant. We were going to duel in Duratar. He would open on me, telling me to try and keep myself alive, and I found this very useful, but really, really wished I was still playing Holy. Things were going the same as usual, just under a 50% win rate, but we were slowly gaining rating, resulting in us being sat at around 1,200 until one game. That one game. I was sick of playing this, and I decided I would switch to Holy without telling him, when we queued into what would be a mirror match. The match was fairly even throughout both sides. Us priests were throwing out mana burns and heals, however both rogues were mostly just punching each other in the face, leaving us healers to just try and out-heal, DPS each other. The Disc Priest was having a better time on mana due to his Psy Fiend, and had decided to push towards me for a fear, and I was not prepared. And this left Townsend to drop very low. However, the enemy rogue was also incredibly low as well due to the opposing priest push for CC on me. He was screaming for pain suppression over Skype. He hadn't realised I was Holy, of course. and I panicked, trying to figure out what the holy equivalent of pain suppression was. Due to being a little out of practice playing holy, I tried to spam click for Guardian Angel. But I fat finger clicked. The fat finger click. It's a leap of faith. There was a moment of silence as Townsend died due to dots and smite spam from the opposing Disc Priest. After a few seconds, Townsend asked, "Why didn't you just pain sup me?" Oh. Why didn't you just pain sup me? I was holy in that game. I didn't have pain suppression. I was going for Guardian Angel, though. I just clicked the wrong button. Another moment of silence passed between us until it was broken by the sound of Townsend punching his desk and moaning, shouting and following various naming insults, calling me shit for not using key bindings, insulting my healing capabilities mixed in with a few racial slurs which made zero sense as we were both white. He said I was intentionally sabotaging his chances and that we could have easily had Gladiator by this time, and he was spoiling this season just like all his previous partners. I had enough and ended the call while he was mid-rant and logged off for bed. The next day I called Ruger, decided that what had happened and I'd had enough of Townsend. Ruger found this hilarious and claimed it was probably a blessing in disguise, as PvP sounded shit anyway from hearing us play over Skype. He also brought up the fact that he never offered to help us get those Bron Drakes, remember? Whoa. Oh yeah. Wait a minute. Townsend never even got us them Bron Drakes, did you though? Remember that? After a long discussion, I came up with the idea that we have a solution to this. We're going to make our own guild. And we'll get all the cool people from Sopus Titus that we had made friends with. We were unsure how to tell Townsend of what we were going to do. I didn't want to communicate with him anymore because of his rage. So we decided we're going to send him an in-game mail telling him that I don't want to PvP with him anymore and that I'm going to make my own guild with nice people and have fun. I removed him from Skype. And I removed him from Battleswag. I finished with a G quit before logging to my freshly made Goblin Enhancement Shaman, having no intention of returning to or playing that priest due to what I had been through. A few days passed and I had to log on my priest to obtain some gold to send to my shaman. I realised I had received an in-game mail from Townsend, admitting he had made a big mistake and getting mad at me, and he was very, very sorry. He said he would make it up to me. He could give me officer spot in his guild. And if I came back and took the officer spot, we would surely get Gladiator. I didn't respond to his mail. I logged off my priest, happy that it was all over. We managed to get 2 more friends who previously were chatting shit about WoW and recruit a friend, which allowed us to start our guild without asking random people to sign our charter. Over the next week, we slowly filled in the friend we'd made from Sopus Titus and got them to join us in the Cheeseburgers. For the next 2 to 3 months before Mists of Pandaria landed, we randomed all the glory achievements as well as the kata achievements while doing some PvP and BGs as a small 5-man group. Over time, we slowly ended up becoming a small cesspool guild. But we were friendly. We're a friendly cesspool guild. We would try and keep everyone involved. However, with the launch of Mists of Pandaria, many people moved on to bigger guilds that had raid teams, leaving us with only 6 or 7 active players who slowly stopped playing around 5.1. Before me and Ruger decided to hop guilds, to which I have remained to this day, raiding Heroic and some Mythic with good friends. I always ended up returning to play Arena, and I'm generally only a master of the 1500 bracket, but I have managed to obtain Challenger over a few seasons with Ruger. I hope you enjoyed my little newbie months of WoW. I still have many little stories to tell, and I hope this was a good start. Oh, clap, clap. Yeah, we're still 1500, but we've got a Challenger title, right? We've got the Cheeseburgers, not anymore, rip. But, you know, we learned a lot. We met creeps. We got better, right? And that's the important part. We got better. As the story went on, we got better and we became better. And that's what matters. That's what matters. And it was a small, friendly cesspool guild, guys. It wasn't the end of the world. It was not the end of the world. Ladies and gentlemen, that is it for drama for today. But tomorrow is, of course... I don't even need to change scene. This is a normal stream. Pecker. Oh, I can do that, though. That's nice. The web show is on. Fake challenger. Fake challenger. Have you seen the new dungeon on the alpha? I have, and we did it. We did it with a team of me, Andy, Noble, Shade, and someone from the stream. I think it's the worst dungeon so far, sadly. I was looking forward to it. We'll do a video on it, I guess. Not much to say about it. A lot of trash. But it is a web show tomorrow, so we'll probably talk about it more at the web show. That's more of a web show topic, because we've got loads of talks about BFA. Web show tomorrow! Master looter changes, global cooldown changes, new zones, all the WoW stuff on the web show tomorrow. So if you're interested in all our opinions on that you wish to convert into various threads across the internet, feel free to tune in. It'll be 8 p.m. tomorrow in the UK. So it's 8 p.m. GMT. Just Google it, 8 p.m. London time. Wherever I am in the world, wherever you are, just go, what time is that in London at 8 p.m.? Easy game. And we'll be there for you. Emma will be around in around 3.5 hours with her stream. She's looking forward to streaming with you guys. She's missed you for a long time. So there you go. That's how it's going to be. Thank you all for a wonderful week. We've got South Park DLC next week, and we've got Silent Hill. Silent Hill we're going to be diving into. Love you all. See you again. Say bye-bye, Andy.
Bye-bye, Andy.
Ha! You got him.
Right.
Yeah. Virgin.